ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
The winter air was crisp and light with the excitement of the upcoming holidays as Andy's bedroom buzzed with anticipation. Tinsel and small lights adorned the room, casting a festive glow on the faces of the gathered toys. Woody, the de facto leader, watched from the window as snowflakes danced their way to the ground, coating the world in a blanket of white. It was the perfect setting for their quiet holiday celebration, except for one unsettling piece of news that was about to turn their festive spirits upside down. While Andy and his mother were busy packing for their Christmas vacation, Woody decided to inspect the room to ensure no toy was left behind or out of place. His attention was drawn to a brightly colored envelope protruding from Andy's backpack. The front bore the unmistakable looping script of the North Pole, Santa's official seal. Curiosity piqued, Woody carefully extracted the letter with the help of Slinky Dog, who extended his spring to retrieve it from the depths of the backpack. Gathered around the bed, the toys watched anxiously as Woody, with slightly trembling hands, opened the envelope. The letter was written on thick glossy paper, sparkling slightly under the room's fairy lights. Woody's voice faltered as he read aloud that Andy had unbelievably made the naughty list. The reasons cited were vague but pointed to a misunderstanding, a forgotten chore, or a moment of mischief taken out of context. The room fell into a stunned silence. Buzz Lightyear, ever the optimist, was the first to break it. "There must be some mistake," he declared, his voice filled with conviction. "Andy's been looking forward to Santa's visit all year. We can't just stand by and let this happen." Woody, feeling a surge of determination bolstered by Buzz's unwavering support, nodded. "We're going to the North Pole," he announced. "We'll talk to Santa ourselves. We have to make this right for Andy." Preparations began at once. The toys knew they had little time to spare, as the family would be heading to the airport soon. Using their wit and resourcefulness, they devised a plan to stow away in the luggage. Mr. Potato Head suggested using an old empty camera bag he'd once hidden in during a previous move. It was spacious enough for a few of them, particularly the smaller toys. As Woody, Buzz, Jessie, and a select few others nestled themselves into the camera bag's padded compartments, the rest of the toys bid them a nervous farewell, their faces a mix of hope and worry. Bo Peep gave Woody a delicate kiss on the cheek and whispered, "Bring our boy back as Christmas." The journey to the airport was a blur of muffled sounds and jostling movements. Inside the bag, Woody and Buzz kept the morale high, recounting tales of their past adventures and the many times they had overcome the odds. However, as they arrived at the airport, an unexpected commotion unfolded. The family, running late, hurriedly checked in their luggage. Amid the chaos, the camera bag containing Woody and the others was mistakenly grabbed by an airport worker and placed with cargo destined for a different flight. A cargo flight heading straight for the North Pole. As realization dawned on the toys, they couldn't believe their luck. It seemed the fates had conspired to help them on their mission. The cargo plane was chilly and dark, far different from Andy's cozy backpack or the warmth of the family car. But the toys huddled together, drawing comfort from each other's presence. Woody looked around at his brave companions, their faces resolute under the dim cargo hold lights. "This might be our toughest adventure yet," Woody said, his voice steady despite the uncertainty. "But we'll make it. We have to, for Andy." As the plane took off, the toys braced themselves against the rumble of the engines. They were no longer just playthings. They were on a mission to save Christmas for their beloved owner. And nothing, Not even the vast, icy expanse of the North Pole would deter them from their goal. As the cargo plane touched down with a gentle shudder, the atmosphere among the toys shifted from anxious anticipation to excited determination. The hatch opened, exposing them to the biting cold of the North Pole. Snowflakes drifted into the cargo hold, sparkling like tiny stars caught in the dim overhead light. Buzz, always ready for a new frontier, peered out, his eyes widening at the expansive snowy landscape sprawling before them. "All right, everyone," Woody said, rallying his friends. "This is it. Let's find Santa." Disembarking from the plane was tricky, as the toys had to avoid being seen by the ground crew. They utilized Jesse's lasso skills to swing from the cargo hold to a stack of nearby crates, providing them a safe path down. Once on the ground, they found themselves on the outskirts of a bustling elf village, where quaint, colorful houses were buried under thick layers of snow, and the air was filled with the jingles of sleigh bells and the sweet scent of candy canes. The toys, wrapped in scraps of fabric found in the cargo hold to keep warm, began their trek toward what they assumed to be the center of the village. The snow crunched under their feet, leaving a trail of miniature footprints behind them. Along the way, they encountered various North Pole inhabitants, reindeer practicing flight takeoffs, elves carrying stacks of gift boxes, and even a Yeti who merely nodded at them before continuing his shoveling. They soon learned that blending in wasn't going to be as easy as they had hoped. The sheer scale of the operation around them was overwhelming. Workshops buzzed with activity, with elves moving in choreographed chaos, crafting toys at a speed that was almost magical. Feeling somewhat out of their depth, the group decided to seek guidance. It was then that they stumbled upon a disheartened elf, sitting alone, away from the merry chaos. His name was Elvin, a young elf who confessed that he felt overshadowed by his more successful peers. "Every year I try to fit in, to help as much as I can, but somehow I always end up making things worse," Elvin shared, his voice tinged with sadness. Woody, seeing a kindred spirit in Elvin, offered him a deal. "Help us get to Santa, and maybe we can help you find your way too," Woody proposed, an earnest smile spreading across his face. Elvin, inspired by the toys, agreed, and led them through the village. He explained the complexities of the operations, pointing out the key locations, the wrapping station, the sleigh hangar, and finally, Santa's office, a grand building located at the very heart of the village. Their journey through Santa's village was not without challenges. They had to dodge busy elves and stray toy parts, navigate through mechanical conveyor belts, and at one point hide from a security team of Nutcracker soldiers. Buzz's leadership skills shone during these moments, helping navigate the group through the tight spots with military precision. As they neared Santa's office, they noticed something amiss. The sleigh, Santa's legendary mode of transportation, was up on lifts, surrounded by worried-looking elves. Something was clearly wrong. "Looks like Santa might need our help as much as we need his," Buzz remarked, gesturing towards the sleigh. Woody nodded, a new resolve firming his features. "First, we speak to Santa. Then we see what we can do to help," Woody decided, leading the group forward. With Elvin's insider knowledge and the toys' unique skills, they were quickly proving themselves to be more than mere stowaways. They were becoming part of something much larger than themselves. As they approached the grand doors of Santa's office, their hearts pounded with a mix of nervousness and excitement. They were so close now, close to pleading their case to Santa himself, and perhaps close to saving Christmas for Andy and countless other children around the world. The toys' adventure in the North Pole was turning out to be their most challenging and significant yet. But as they stood before Santa's office ready to make their case, they felt an unshakable confidence. They had come this far for Andy, and they wouldn't back down now, not when so much was at stake. As Woody pushed open the grand doors of Santa's office, the toys were met with a warm, inviting glow that contrasted sharply with the icy chill outside. Inside, the room was lined with shelves overflowing with ancient books, maps of the world's rooftops, and countless letters from children all over the globe. At the center, behind a massive oak desk, strewn with lists and scrolls, sat Santa Claus, a figure as jolly and imposing as the legend suggested. Santa looked up, his eyes twinkling with a mix of surprise and curiosity. "And what do we have here?" he boomed, his voice as deep and comforting as a well-worn carol. Woody stepped forward, the leader once again. "Santa, we've come a long way to see you. We need your help," he began, recounting the story of Andy's placement on the naughty list and their accidental journey to the North Pole. As he spoke, the other toys nodded, their expressions earnest. Santa listened intently, his face softening with each word. When Woody finished, Santa leaned back, stroking his white beard thoughtfully. "I see. It's quite rare for toys to journey so far for their child. Andy must be very special to you." "He is, Santa. He's the best kid we could ask for," Jessie chimed in, her voice filled with emotion. Santa's gaze drifted towards the window, where the northern lights danced across the sky in vibrant colors. "You've shown great courage and loyalty, qualities that embody the spirit of Christmas itself," he mused. "Let me think on this matter. Meanwhile, I hear you've also taken a look at our sleigh troubles." Buzz stepped forward, explaining their observations and offering their assistance to fix the sleigh. Santa smiled, impressed. "Well then, let's see if we can return the favor. Lead the way." Together, Santa and the toys headed to the sleigh hangar, with Buzz and Woody coordinating the efforts, and the other toys lending their unique skills. They worked alongside the elves, tightening bolts, recalibrating the navigation system, and even adding a touch of magic with some of Rex's video game know-how. As they worked, the atmosphere grew hopeful. Elves and toys working side by side, shared stories and laughter, the warmth in the hangar a stark contrast to the frosty air outside. The spirit of Christmas, of giving, unity, and joy, permeated every corner of the room. Finally, as the first light of dawn crept across the horizon, the sleigh was ready. Santa, with a hearty laugh, thanked the toys. "You've done more than fix a sleigh tonight. You've brought together everyone with your spirit and determination. Truly, you understand the heart of Christmas." Returning to his office, Santa pulled out a large ancient book. With a magical twinkle in his eye, he flipped to Andy's page and took out his quill. "A misunderstanding, you said?" With a nod from Woody, Santa crossed out Andy's name from the naughty list, then wrote it under the good with grand flourishing strokes. As the toys watched, overcome with relief and happiness, Santa turned to them. "Now let's get you home. Christmas wouldn't be right if you weren't there to share it with Andy." The return journey was a magical blur. Santa's sleigh, powered by the newly fixed engines, and a bit of Christmas magic soared through the sky. The toys, nestled among piles of presents, watched the world pass below, their hearts full. Woody and Buzz exchanged a look, a silent agreement that this was their grandest adventure yet. As they landed softly in Andy's room just as the morning light spilled through the window, the toys took their places just as the family began to stir. The first light of Christmas morning filtered through the curtains, casting a golden glow across Andy's room, where the air was still filled with the lingering magic of the night before. Andy, restless with anticipation, was already awake, his eyes wide with the excitement that only Christmas morning could bring. He rushed out of his room down the stairs and stopped short at the sight that greeted him, a tree surrounded by more presents than he could have imagined. With a joyful squeal, Andy dove into the pile of gifts, tearing open packages with abandon. The room filled with the sounds of ripping paper and Andy's delighted laughter. Among the usual array of games and clothes, Andy found several boxes that were heavier and more intriguing. One by one, he uncovered a collection of new toys that seemed almost too good to be true. The Avengers, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and Black Widow stood in heroic poses, their packaging bright and inviting. Next, he unveiled Mr. Incredible, looking as stalwart and strong as ever. But the surprises didn't stop there. A dark, imposing figure of Venom lurked beneath the festive wrapping, and even Batman emerged from the shadows of a neatly wrapped box. As Andy arranged his new heroes into an impromptu battle scene on the living room floor, the toys from his room, who had silently followed to watch over their kid, peered around the corner. Woody and Buzz exchanged a look of awe and slight concern as they observed the new additions. These were not ordinary toys. They were legends, heroes and anti-heroes alike, each with stories and adventures that could fill entire playtimes on their own. The morning progressed with Andy lost in a world of imagination, orchestrating epic battles and heroic rescues. As he introduced each new toy to the older ones, an unexpected spark of magic flickered. Without Andy noticing, the new toys began to move on their own, their eyes blinking with life, their limbs testing their articulation subtly. Woody and Buzz, veterans of many adventures and the magic of their own secret lives, watched as the new toys came to consciousness. They approached cautiously, ready to introduce themselves as the leaders of Andy's toys. "Welcome to Andy's room," Woody began. "I'm Woody, and this here is Buzz. We look out for all the toys here." Iron Man was the first to respond, his voice confident and charismatic. "Thanks, Woody. We appreciate the welcome. Looks like we're gonna have quite the team here." The introductions were suddenly interrupted by a faint but growing hum, a sound unfamiliar and out of place. Batman was the first to react. "Do you hear that?" he whispered, his gaze scanning the room. The toys froze, listening as the hum turned into a distinct vibration, emanating from beneath the Christmas tree. Without warning, the ground beneath the tree began to shift, the carpet bulging upward as if something below was trying to break through. Andy, oblivious to the strange occurrences, continued playing at the other end of the room. Woody and Buzz looked at each other. "What do you think that is?" Buzz asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "Whatever it is," Woody replied, "we're going to find out. But first, we need to make sure Andy stays safe." The new toys nodded in agreement, rallying around Woody and Buzz as they prepared to face whatever was coming. The air was charged with anticipation and uncertainty.